My name is Brendan, and welcome back to another episode of Auto Charge, where we're going to be wasting your time talking about cars that no longer exist.
Personally, I like to call them extinct, like good gas prices and common decency.
Yeah, common decency. Like those people that resell 30-year-old Supras for like $100,000.
Common decency, people who put an M badge on a regular BMW. But I digress. Today we're going to be talking about extinct cars.
You know, if you're remotely interested in cars at all, then you'll know that a bunch of them have been discontinued lately. Actually, we have a list just up here. That's a lot.
Brendan, you know what I don't understand is being discontinued? The Chevrolet Camaro. You know why?
Why is that, Andrew?
Because I swear I see it on the road all the time. I swear a bunch of people own this car. How come the sales can't be that bad? One thing I do understand is the Infiniti Q5. This car just doesn't fucking work. The Mazda, I don't know anything about this car. The C-Class Coupe, no one really buys coupes anymore.
You know, I actually remember somebody who used to have a car just like this, except it was a four-door.
Oh,
Didn't you used to have a C-Class sedan?
I did, but I sold that.
Oh, I remember that. You sold it to that guy and he sent it off to Iran.
No, I ran into a Honda Civic.
I remember that!
But anyway, we're going to be talking about this. You know, drug dealers used to drive accurate TSXs, but after that was discontinued and subsequently replaced with crossovers and SUVs, drug dealers have since dispersed into different car manufacturers, none being so prominent than Audi. And just like the drug industry, the vehicle industry is always changing. And in the year of our Lord and Savior, the Lord hasn't saved these cars from getting the chop. The Camaro, the Nissan GT-R, and strangely, the Lexus IS have all been phased out for an electrical successor or SUV. The sports sedan has slowly been phased out for the past decade. And in the German front, there is no difference, with BMW, Mercedes, and Audi set to cut more cars within the near future. This one's a little bit unfortunate, is the 2019 fifth and last generation Audi S4. 2019, what is this, amateur hour? Another outdated car review? The Audi A4 actually has a lot of sentimental value for me. My father had a B7, my father's brother had a B7, and whenever I looked at it, it always looked like a proper middle-class businessman's car. It didn't look like a guy who played paddle, golf, or tennis, or any other elitist sport. The V8 always looked a little bit raunchy. But now the demographic has definitely changed. Long gone are the years of men with suits buying this car. Now you have some guy from Brampton robo-tuning it, straight piping it, and putting some ugly ass wrap on it. Like, imagine spending $20,000 extra on this car. But I'm getting a little too carried away. Let's actually talk about the car. This has a 3.0 liter TFSI V6 engine producing 349 horsepower. But if you allow me to get a little bit boring here, but considering it is a German car, we have to talk about the reliability. This 3.0 turbocharged engine is relatively solid. However, you might encounter some carbon buildup in the intake valves in future. Another problem I've heard is that the rocker arms do tend to fail. And when that happens, it can go into a limp mode or blow up. What are rocker arms? Well, they're components in the valve train that transfer motion from the camshaft to the valves. And if that isn't complicated enough, that can cost you up to $5,000 to $8,000 to fix. There are plenty of room for activities in the trunk. You have space for your coolant, stolen phones, drugs. However, this is extra. But this wasn't made for some musty, crusty parking lot. This is made for the road. The ride is firm, but not harsh. The optional sports suspension that comes with this car makes the ride pretty The all-wheel drive Quattro system gives the car a bit of a neutral, confident handling feeling. You can push it hard and it sticks, even in poor weather. And if you're in Canada, that's about 6 months out of the year. It's not as fun as a rear-wheel drive BMW, but it's still stable and precise. Brendan was telling me that he thinks BMWs are the pinnacle of German automotive. But you know, he would say that because similar to the BMW, he's high maintenance, never works, and always bitching at me. This car is surprisingly quiet, especially for a sports sedan. Excellent insulation, even at highway speeds. This car has one big sin, and that's because it has its own made-up exhaust audio that plays while you drive. I don't know about you, but you're actually a jackass if you think that's okay to put it on a sports sedan like this. You know, no wonder Brendan likes that BMW. It doesn't make exhaust audio up, it just breaks down. And unlike other German automakers from the 1950s, this car actually feels like I paid $60,000 for it. And did you know that the seats actually use Nappa leather? And even the diamond stitching makes it more elite. It has these nice interior lights. It also has knobs, buttons, things I can actually feel. No silly touchscreen. And speaking of that silly touchscreen, it's quite shite. It's from 2019, and I know that was a decade ago, but when I try using the CarPlay, it barely works. And to control it, it's not a touchscreen, it's a knob. And I'm gonna be honest, navigating this menu actually looks like a hassle. I couldn't imagine living with this car using any other option besides the CarPlay. Just look at this. This is just a mess. I've always loved how Audi have designed their cars. I don't want to meat ride them too much, but I've always appreciated a clean, understated look with some subtle aggression. I don't have any regret in saying that this is a very, very good looking car. Just in style, simplicity, and conventionalism. One problem with me reviewing this car, not because it's 6 years old, because you can't really buy it anymore. Audi have decided in 2024 that they're going to discontinue it in North America. Unfortunately, my beloved Audi is susceptible to common market trends, phasing out its internal combustion engine and leading more towards crossovers and SUVs. If you want my opinion, I think it's very unfortunate that we see all these cars become discontinued. And I'm glad I grew up in an era where there were so many cars to choose from and that every automaker was trying to experiment and create a piece of art. But if you want my opinion on the Audi, personally, I understand why they got rid of it. I'd rather buy an S3, but if I wanted something bigger, I just buy an S5. And I still think that this car is meant for important businessmen. But even though that the S4 is clearly better on power, strength, fastness, comfort, cabin room, I still rather buy the S3. So if you want a mid-sized Audi that's fast, has lots of cabin room and somewhat reliable, this is for you. Drive safe. Good night. Now it's from my time to shine, my rhyme to dime, because it's time for Used Car Crackdown, where I and not Brendan try to show you what to do when you're looking for a used car on Marketplace.
All right, I'm getting kind of sick and tired of these segments. Can we just like skip this one this time?
You know, I'm getting real sick and tired of people on Marketplace.
Yeah. Just get on with the playing it.
And before we start, read this legal disclaimer. Sorry, Facebook Marketplace?
Yes.
Hello, how are you?
Good, thank you.
I'm Andrew.
Okay. Good.
Is it at the bottom? It's a little sticky at the hood there.
Sticky, yeah.
So how long have you guys owned this?
It's actually for my daughter. She's in university right now. She bought this last year.
She bought it last year?
Yeah.
Is there any reason for all the
Rust proof.
rust proof?
Yes.
Okay. The engine bay looks good.
Very good.
Sorry, are you able to turn it on for me?
No.
Okay, it sounds good. Nothing sounds too wrong about it. I don't know, just this is a little. It's gonna need a lot of cleaning to get all this soot off.
Let me tell you, when she also wanted to buy it, I said we're gonna clean it. But when
Yeah?
we give it to her, they said no, we can't clean it. It's rusty.
This looks like it was all rusty, and then someone painted it over. Yeah. Oh. Tires are still pretty good. Ooh. So I'm just gonna take a look inside. 263?
Kilometers? Yeah.
On the listing you put 200.
Only 53 kilometers. Or what?
Yes.
On the listing it says 200,000.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. This is a 2006, correct? From what I'm looking here, there's a lot of rust under the car, and these rocker panels here look like it's been repainted over. There's some damage here and it looks like a lot of rust. And on the listing, yes, at 200,000, has 263. I don't think $6,000 would be worth it for this car. It's almost 19 years old. I don't know, 6,000 is a lot of money for this, and I think what I would first offer is around 3,000. My first offer is 3,000 because it's 19 years old. Both this on the other side has been
The engine is very, economical.
The engine looks great, just the body and then the underside of the car is very rusty.
Yeah, because the age of the car, I'm talking about the engine, and they're very durable, economical.
Yeah, I think first off, the mileage
Yeah.
for me doesn't make it worth 6,000. Just almost 300,000. That just I've
The best you want to sell is 4,000.
for 1,000 off or just
4,000.
4,000?
I don't talk much on it. She said 4,000.
4,000 minimum. Okay. I'm gonna have to think over that. Yeah, honest. If you guys don't find any other offers for 4,000, I'm gonna still be here for 3. So if you guys don't get anything else, just let me know. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Cyclip.
Brendan, do you want to hear a story?
As long as it's not racist or homophobic in any way.
Don't worry, Brendan, these aren't one of my normal stories because I was driving a car right after a beer and I saw this Honda Civic beside me. It was pristine. It was the new 11th Gen one.
Oh, the worst one.
Oh, I wouldn't say that. However, it committed a deadly sin. Something I've heard is punishable by death in some Armenian prisons.
What would that be? Was he gooning?
Nope. He had a Type R badge on his regular Honda Civic sedan.
That's pretty messed up. And you know what, Andrew? I think you might be onto something. If you're at home, be sure to write to your local senator. Forget about public transportation, healthcare issues, the homelessness. None of it's important. The real issue is people driving fake sports cars.
And I was about 67% sure that that guy was actually Armenian, so no wonder he was here in Canada using our healthcare system.
Okay. Just stop. What does it have to do with anything?
Well, I was thinking that on social media, you usually see these guys with Toyota Camrys modifying their Honda CR-Vs, spending ludicrous amount of money on cars that are plain stupid. Then I thought of the Rice Purity Test.
Yeah, you're a certified dumbass. You might actually be the only person on Earth who can make those two things correlate. And for the uninformed viewer at home, the Rice Purity Test is like a self-graded test of innocence. Like, have you ever smoked meth? Or have you ever committed bestiality?
Things we've all done. So I was thinking, why not make one more related to cars or your personal vehicle?
Okay, so basically what you're saying is you just made a car Rice Purity Test?
But this one's going to be called the Car Purity Test.
Oh, how original. How'd you come up with that one, huh?
However, take a look at this. This is a brutally honest, scientifically questionable scoring system that tries to accurately produce the purity of your car.
This might be the second worst idea you've ever had.
Can't please everyone. However, I called with one of my computer science friends. I told him about the idea. In a few short hours, we cooked this up.
Who's your friend? Chat GPT?
That may have allegedly been used in the creation and framework of the website, but however, the actual questions itself and how we can accurately deduce the purity of your car was curated by us.
I guess just, run me through how it works.
Similar to the actual Rice Purity Test, it's a checklist where you answer different questions based on your actual car. It's either adding or subtracting from a base total that you have, which is 50. What it would do is that each question would add or subtract from that total 50 that you have.
You do know this is not how the actual Rice Purity Test works?
Yeah, well, with that one, it's 100 questions and you're kind of just adding on with each question that you answer. Every question is weighed the same. If I answered, I've hypothetically done math. That is gonna weigh the same as another question that's obviously less severe. So with this one, it's divided in categories. So with this one, there's stuff like drivetrain, transmission, or horsepower. Obviously, standard cars are gonna do much better than CVTs or automatics. Authenticity, build quality, and aesthetics. Obviously, that Honda Civic that was driving beside me on the highway will not do well in this portion of the test.
Yeah, I definitely think for those people that toss on those fake AMG badges on their C230s, you should definitely lose some points. And maybe some of your rights too.
Yes, and you know, with decals or stickers, they're not going to do well in this test because I know Brendan won't agree with me on this, but decals and stickers do not look good on your car unless it's a track car or a race car.
See, you really are such a distinguished, certified dumbass. Like, what? Decals can most certainly look good on a car, especially street cars.
What about the Dodge Charger with anime on the side?
Well, do not diss such peak design, okay?
And something that's a little more controversial that you see with this is that if you have an SUV hybrid or an electric car, you will lose points, and that's by design. That's to help honor the spirit of the test.
Nope, totally agree with you there.
Anyway, Brendan, would you like to choose a car? Because we're gonna run it through it once.
You know what? I gotta say, we gotta do our goat here on the show.
Oh,
The
yes.
Suzuki Aereo.
Okay. All right, let's start off. Brendan, what kind of transmission does it have? It has automatic, so we don't need to answer with this question because it's 0 points. Okay, it is a sedan. Yes, it is slower than 9 seconds.
Pretty damn slow.
Rarity and it is a discontinued model. This is where we gain points on the heritage of that car. See, this is where I get a return on my investment for that car.
I will also say there's most certainly no enthusiast following.
Well, I would disagree with that. And no aftermarket wheels, not modified. It does not have a wrap, no tasteful liveries, no stickers, no sticker bombs. It is not
Definitely
a
not a hatchback or a Leaf.
No.
No. Yup.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Let's fucking go. Defend the fact that I own one. I might need to check this off.
Most certainly underneath 20,000. I would maybe pay 3 on a good day.
Hey, it is though a one owner vehicle. So there you go. Let's submit it and see how cool my car is.
Let's take a look. 51.
Okay.
We got 1 point.
Yes. Let's fucking go.
Average sport.
You know what they say, Suzukis and sports go hand in hand. That's why they both start with the letter S.
All right, if you'd like to check out this abomination for yourself and do this goofy-ass quiz, you can find it on github.com or the AutoCharge website, which will be flashed up here on the screen.
It is AUTOCHARGED.net.
Thank you, Andrew. You know, Andrew, I've actually totally forgot the whole point of this episode. It's not to look at your dumbass quiz. It's to look at extinct cars.
Well, I don't think it's a dumbass quiz.
I think so.
Oh, whatever you say, man. But however, we did a car that we're actually going to be reviewing right now. It is the 2007 Suzuki Aereo. It should have scored a 99 because one day it will be coming back to our glorious nation in North America.
Yeah, it's not coming back, but
it will come back because you can go
You know, when we look back at the year 2007, it truly was an important time for mankind. We had the release of the iPhone, it was just before the 2008 financial crisis, and Kanye just dropped Graduation. Truly was a time to marvel. But the most important thing that came out of that year was the end of the production for the Suzuki Aereo. This reasonably priced sedan was released in 2001 as a competitor to both the Toyota Corolla and the Honda Civic. But unlike the two of those, this one here is a mix of DNA between a crossover and a sedan. Truly a one-of-a-kind of a vehicle. This car here had an all-wheel drive package, which wasn't very common for Japanese cars at the time, other than the Subaru Impreza, which was only priced about $500 more at the time. The thing is, the top trim of this here Suzuki versus the top trim of the Impreza, it was significantly cheaper. This is one of the major benefits to getting a Suzuki. It didn't completely break the bank, but unfortunately due to low sales and interests, back in 2007 they were discontinued. Real shame, honestly. They seem like a pretty good competitor. One of the major reasons for the discontinuation of the Suzuki Aereo was that it only had one generation in the whole 5 years it was on the market. Suzuki hadn't updated the Aereo other than give it a small facelift. Afterwards, the Aereo was subsequently replaced by the SX4, which, unlike the Suzuki, did have another generation. Unfortunately, that one never did make it to Canada, because back in 2013, Suzuki announced that they would stop selling cars in Canada. One of the big reasons is that Suzuki America went bankrupt back in 2012, and in the following year, they didn't sell more than 6,000 cars. In the car department, Suzuki fell behind for a multitude of reasons. They hadn't been updating their cars fast enough, and they failed to adapt to modern standards. Suzuki didn't really have great brand recognition. They weren't cheap as Hyundai, refined as a Honda, or rugged as a Jeep. It's got that early 2000s aesthetic. Honestly, I think it looks better than a Corolla. It's got a ton of cabin space and is honestly pretty well built. You know, after 20 years, this one's still alive and kicking. Don't mind any of that. The ride is pretty poor, but the seats feel pretty nice. Coming in with a 2.3 liter engine with 4 cylinders, 155 horsepower stock. This thing is gets you 0 to 100 in about 5 to 10 business days, I'd say. And oh, would you look at this? Even comes with a little spoiler for aerodynamics. And that's basically it. Honestly, the history itself is more interesting than the car, I have to say. And if I was broke back in 2007 and I had to choose between this, a Toyota, a Honda, or a Subaru, I'd buy a Lancer.
They will be missed.
Moving on, the last extinct car we're gonna be looking at today is not actually a car. I'm gonna be looking at a Honda ATC.
Oh, there, buddy. This is called auto charge, not ATC charge. It's either you're illiterate or beliterate, because I don't think you're remembering the show that you're not paid to co-host.
Okay, well, I'm actually giving the viewers something that they want, which is something new and fresh.
Something that they don't know.
I guess so, but you know what? I'm sure 90% of the people watching don't even know what an ATC is, so why don't we go take a look? Okay, I know what you might say. This is technically not an extinct car, but it is an extinct ATV, or an ATC if you want to get technical, an all-terrain cycle. It is a pretty interesting piece of Honda's history. It's the 1983 ATC 200E. During this time, Honda was at the height of the ATC world, with over 200,000 units sold in North America. This one specifically has 192 cc's, air-cooled 4-stroke 1-cylinder engine, producing about 14 to 15 horsepower. But let's be real, you don't care about any of that boring shit. Let's hit the old dusty trail. I hope that you can hear me right now. This thing here came straight from the horse's ass, Japan. You know, you can really tell it's a Honda engine because after 42 years, this thing's still running strong. Mostly, I guess. In terms of power, it's low, but in torque, it's high, making it awesome for off-roading. This here comes with a semi-automatic transmission, making it super simple to drive. No need for a clutch to swap gears, making it super attractive to some drivers. This was the first Honda ATC with front suspension, making it super comfortable. Planes fly, cars drive, and this Honda ATC still runs perfectly after 42 years. And you know, after 30 years, there's still a community for these little suckers. And honestly, I can see why. And to the government that tells us these vehicles are unsafe, you're 100% right. My associate almost flipped this goddamn thing 3 times off camera. Like I said, all-terrain cycle, baby. all these features and they just couldn't add a goddamn reverse. You might be pondering, why don't you really see these sort of things anymore? And well, that's because they're banned. Well, sort of. In the mid to late 80s, the media shared some concerns about how safe these bikes really are. Between 1982 and 1983, over 1,000 deaths and over 300,000 injuries in the US were linked to three-wheelers, many of which were involving children at the time. Honda did make one specifically for kids with 72 cc's, but the risks of rollover were so high because of how light the kids were. The government argued that the three-wheel design is inherently unstable, especially while turning. Honda and many other manufacturers faced numerous lawsuits for product liability. So in 1987, major manufacturers, including Honda, agreed to a 10-year decree to not sell ATC, which honestly didn't help too much. Four-wheel ATVs were still being sold and accidents were still happening every year. And I personally think it's the rider's fault. I've been driving this thing for years, and anytime I've rode into a ditch or fallen off, it's because I was being an idiot. If there's one thing Americans are known for, it's not being idiots. But what does all that US stuff have to do with the nemesis of the North, Canada? Well, you see, once Honda America stopped making the ATVs, Honda Canada followed suit. So essentially, Honda ATCs weren't officially banned in North America. They were more voluntarily pulled from the market. This is due to public scrutiny, controversies, and safety risks. Although the liability agreement ended in 1998, they dare not bring them back due to the fear of being sued. But not me though, I'm not a pussy. You hear that? That's the sound of pure Japanese engineering.
No better, I was thinking, this show is very similar to that ATC. It'll one day be found in a broken down garage.
Yep, and our careers are pretty similar to the ATC as well, because once the show is over, they're probably going to be extinct.
Yes, well, that's unfortunate. Well, on that depressing note, actually very similar to the extinct cars reviewed today, which is also very depressing, we're going to end it off here. Drive safe. $2019. Andrew, what is this? Amateur hour? Another outdated. Sorry, let me read the script and see what it actually says.
You're swaying a lot right now, and it's coming out of it. And Kanye just got reset. Hold on, wait, one more read. That's one made. Just don't mind any of that. Should've been recording. Anyways, moving on. The last extinct vehicle we're going to be looking at is technically not going to be a car.
Well, you must be illiterate or biliterate because this is called autocharge, not ATZ. Wait, what?
I didn't even say what it was.
Oh,
you just interrupted me.
First off, you know what I noticed while I was actually editing the video?
What?
Is that you have very long pauses every single time you talk. Every single line. It's literally, if you look at that Honda Civic video, it's literally going, okay. Andrew, we're
Yes?
going to be talking.
Because I need you to process what I'm saying. My apologies, sir.